brilliant. So far, we've got 17 people on the call. Welcome, everyone. I see Sylvana's just joined.
Hello, can you hear?
Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hi, sorry, we can't hear you. We're just trying to sort something else on our side. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear you now. We're waiting for Dee to come on.
Great. Welcome, welcome. The audio is working. The sound is working. We happening.
Okay, thanks so much.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hello, does it say microphone off?
Here we go, friends. I think it's time to begin. Let me just check that any emails coming through, any WhatsApps coming through. Everybody seems to have got the link. Everybody managed to log on well. Good evening, Eloise. Thank you so much for the message. Right, there's Linda. Linda is joining. So, friends, I'm on the go here. I'm admitting people, and I'm doing my IT thing, and it's very difficult for me to multitask because I'm the mindfulness guy. You know, I try to do one thing at a time. Welcome everyone to the Mindful Mentor Program, and yeah, it's really wonderful to see everybody. My name is Mark Joseph, and if you don't know me, I am a mindfulness teacher, facilitator. My background is that I work in an organization called Mindful Revolution, and we do a lot of corporate work with a lot of big clients, the banking industry, a lot of other great clients. I just got back from a wine farm, Vergeleden in the Cape, and believe it or not, I was flown there by De Beers to do a mindfulness session for one of their management teams, which was absolutely glorious, a 2-hour session. And I'm back. I just landed, which was a wonderful flight, a lot of turbulence. And I must say, we got a special, very special guest tonight. I met Devaksha, I think it was 2018 when you came on the teacher training. And I just want to turn a little bit more of this music down. I met Devaksha in about 2018, and Devaksha attended what I run, the Mindfulness Teacher Training Program. And we got really close. Devaksha was amazing. She went on a 13-week journey. We were live. We were in a you know, these days everything's done online, but in those days things were still live. And Devaksha did so well at her teacher training. She passed her evaluation. And I think the thing that really wanted me to invite Devaksha on is that she didn't just do the teacher training, she took it further. And we always had a connection. She was working at Coke, bottling. I ran a leadership fire mindfulness program there through Devaksha and Mindful Revolution. And then Devaksha moved to APSA, and I invited Devaksha onto a few mindfulness circle sessions where we co-facilitated. Those are 1-hour platforms. And now she's moved to African Bank. She recently moved. She is a spectacular single mom. Had to add that because it was a wonderful recommendation, and she certainly is. She's a corporate career woman. She's an international speaker, and she believes in living her passion. and we could learn a lot from her tonight. In 2020, she launched Mind Infusion, which involves running various programs like one-on-one coaching for your best life and a key focus on resilience and mindfulness. So I'm hoping that she got the mindfulness from the teacher training. She also she kicked off her Women's in Leadership program called We Are She to focus on women empowerment and living one's best life, as well as happy little minds for the kids to cope with their anxiety and also depression. So ever since the teacher training, Devaksha has been incredibly active and incredibly busy. And I guess that's why I'm so proud, because she took that knowledge, she took that learning, and she said, right, I'm going to do something with this. So without any further ado, Devaksha, I'm going to welcome you onto this platform this evening. Thank you so much for gracing us with your beauty and your smile, and for sharing your message with us this evening. I know some people here are curious as to join the teacher training, so welcome to you. And I know a lot of people are here just to listen to Devaksha and her message this evening. So Devaksha, I hand over to you. Welcome. How are you feeling?
I must say, Mark, I'm quite overwhelmed. Sorry, can you hear me, Mark?
Oh, sorry, I just lost you for a minute.
Okay, perfect. I was just saying I'm quite overwhelmed because I'm looking at the attendees and I'm seeing school friends and ex-colleagues and family and people from across the continent. And so I feel very blessed. There's nothing like a bit of pressure. But yeah, I really want to say a huge thank you, Mark, for inviting me. As you know, I was saying to my daughter earlier, Kiasha, I said, Kiash, I'm not as nervous for exco presentations, but I think when it's something personal and I'm giving a part of myself this evening, it's very different. So I want to say a big thank you, Mark. And I've said to lots of people, if you haven't met Mark Joseph, you have not lived. So I'm so glad to be partnering with you this evening.
As always.
Can I kick off? And
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you and welcome. And I truly appreciate you taking the time to join. I know it's in the evening, and the dinner's being made, and people have lots on the go. But I really do appreciate you making the time for me. I can assure you, this is not a death by PowerPoint. There are a few slides, though, that I want us to go through, just in terms of me sharing my mindful journey. So you would have seen the ad, and again, thank you for the overwhelming response. I truly appreciate that. But we always start this off, for those of you who have not been part of any of Mark's programs or my programs, but we always start off just to get into the moment, and that's what mindfulness is about. So I invite you just to find a comfortable position, whether you're sitting on the floor, on the bed, or on a chair, is just to relax your body, keep your back upright, or even if you're laying down, if you're putting the kids to sleep, that's also fine. You can lay on your back and close your eyes and, just kind of either keep your hands or your palms facing upwards to feel lifted, or you can face them down to feel grounded. And just lower your head and take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Another deep breath in, and let out any stress or anxiety you experience today. Let it all out. And one final deep breath in, breathe in all the good stuff that you need, and exhale. So gently open your eyes, and I hope you are with us. I must say, we start most meetings and gatherings in this manner. And that's because a lot of us have a lot on the go, right? Whether it's dropping kids off at school or going to work or even working from home. And some of you may be having your dinner now, but it's just for you to be in the moment, not to think about reflections on the day, and that's going to distract you, or concerned about tomorrow. Geez, I've got an 8 o'clock meeting. I need to prepare. This is your time. So I'm inviting you into the safe space to allow yourself just to be you. And I always say being you is your superpower. And again, a number of meetings, even when I was at ABSA, we'd kick off these meetings by doing a bit of breath work. And I remember even in one of the companies I worked for, FMCG, my line manager would always say when we were having a bit of a challenge with anybody or business stakeholders, just breathe. And now I get it. It does make a world of difference. So colleagues, friends, family, fellow mindfulness practitioners, everyone that's on the call, again, a huge thank you. I'm truly humbled. And as we go into my journey, I've got, as I said, a couple of slides, but a lot of this is quite personal. And I'm sharing it with you because I believe that if my story could help someone think differently or look at yourself and think, geez, I'm not alone in this. And I can assure you it makes a world of difference. One of the things and the rituals that I do when I get up every morning, and listen, I haven't been waking up that early these mornings, but I will get back into a flow. And when Mark invited me to this, I'm like, but I'm not in my flow. But that's not a bad thing. We're not always in a flow. And it's been a rough couple of weeks, but you know what? We soldier on, and I keep saying that. So the one thing, and it was a YouTube video that I watched this morning, and it was actually Tony Robbins who was talking about all you need is 10 minutes a day. So we're not saying you need to spend an hour meditating. You need 10 minutes for you. And how many of us, even if we wake up early, we go straight to our laptops or we're looking at our phones. And in those 10 minutes, you can either sit still and just be in the moment. You can either meditate, you can practice your breathing as we've done now, but also gratitude is a big part of mindfulness that I've learned. And that has what has kept me going. Because we tend to want to go very quickly into a space of, it's a really tough month financially. I need to fix my car, or I need to buy school shoes for the kids, or this or that, or whatever. But the main point around this is being grateful for what we have. And gratitude is not about the house we're living in. Yes, it could be, but it's the fact that we woke up and we are breathing, right? And I think COVID has taught a lot of us this. The other thing that I picked up in this video this morning is they were talking about 70% of time, the time that we are living is in stress, which means that we are living in survival mode. And listen, I can relate to that, right? I think a lot of us can, because we are getting up, we need to work. Are we really embracing what is around us, what we're surrounded by? Are we stopping and smelling the roses, as the old saying would go? So the fact that 70% of our time is being stressed out, can you imagine what it's doing to our body? Now, everybody can handle stress, right? And I'm not sure if there's any doctors on the call. I know a couple that had said they were going to join. We can handle stress, but short-term stress. So you imagine a deer that's being chased by a pack of coyotes, right? It's running for its life, it's stressed. But the moment, and hopefully it gets away from that pack of coyotes, and the lucky one that does, continues to graze. So that short-term stress was very short-lived. And that deer was able to move back into the space it was previously through grazing. Now, imagine this, and for a lot of you on this call, and I know there's some little ones that have joined us as well. So whether you are at school or at varsity or at work, there could be that coworker, that colleague, the student who is sitting next to you or who gets onto calls, and you just think your body is already feeling that tension, right? Because this person is now going to challenge me and I'm feeling very nervous. Now imagine you sitting next to this person day in, day out. You are just releasing these chemicals, right? So you're no longer just in that short-term stress response. This is now leading to disease. This is leading to stress and anxiety and even depression, because you start to question yourself, right? So just as much as we are thinking about sitting next to that person, our thoughts are stressing us out. It creates the stress. That alone is causing the anxiety that we experience, the tightness in our chest, the sore shoulders. How many of us have those sore shoulders? Luckily, you know, I've got a sister who's a physiotherapist, but yeah, I don't spend enough time with her. But it just leads to this. And I remember many stories, and I could go on for hours, but I think you get the point around this. And this is largely due to the size of the neocortex. That is why our body is now out of balance, our body and our brain, okay? And that's where you look at the homeostasis, where it's really out of whack, and we start to question a lot of things. So our thoughts can make us ill, but they can also make us well. And through my journey with Mark and Mindful Revolution, we've learned a lot of this, simple techniques. And I can assure you there's no religious link to this. This is something that's quite universal. We've seen it in many industries. As Mark's mentioned, we've done this at Coke, at ABSA. I know R&B are huge in terms of driving a lot of these initiatives. A lot of us are faced with the fear of failure. And for some of my colleagues who are on the call, I know we've had a number of these conversations around the fear of failure. So this picture, again, it's speaking to a lot of what I've said, right? Working from home, the trying to juggle everything. Mark was joking about multitasking. Being a woman, I can't multitask. And I learned this from Kiasha as well, when we'd have guests over, and in typical Indian tradition, we'd make a variety of Indian dishes. And she'd say to me, Mom, don't try to have 4 plates on at the same time and cook 4 curries. Focus on 1 curry at a time. And I can assure you that's going to be your best curry, because then you have 4 curries that are not made with the love and the, the commitment that you want. The same with how we view multitasking. We are really not geared around trying to do things, because then we are not doing everything at our best. So the quote here, and you'll see it's from Mind Infusion, the company that I run along with my daughter Kiasha, is say goodbye to your inner critic and take this pledge to be kinder to yourself and others. That negative self-talk, we are harsh on ourselves, friends, really harsh. The things that we say to us. And Lukaila, my son, keeps saying to me, Mom, stop speaking to yourself like that. Stop saying, oh, such an idiot. Why did I do this? Or, you know, why can't I just get out of the slump and get to gym? He says, stop saying that. You know, look at what you want to achieve, those affirmations. And Lukailan's one of those who also is keen on Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. And I'll talk a little bit about that as part of my journey. But I read the book by Mel Robbins around the 5-second rule. And I told him, you know, she says, high five yourself in the mirror every morning. And he does that, he just high fives himself in the mirror. And he's like, you know, you're awesome. It's those sorts of acts and practices that we need to put in place. And not only for ourselves, you know, we've got little ones watching us and role modeling our behavior. And I remember saying to my sister as well, because we know we always have the one child who doesn't like reading, right? I'm not going to mention any names, but the best way for our children to actually want to learn to read, to love to read, is through role modeling. If our children are watching us reading, they are going to want to read. Okay, I'm not sure what happened to me. My dad used to read the newspaper every single day, and I cannot for the life of me read the newspaper, but I will pick up a book and read it. But I think you're getting my point around this. So the point around this is, our mind full of stuff, or are we being mindful? And you think about this when you are walking, not only your child, but your dog, or you spending time with your cat. Okay, cats, I don't know exactly what goes through their minds. Do think sometimes they're plotting things, but a dog is just seeing scenery, right? But with us, we've got lists and lists of things to do, because that is how we need to function. But it's all this clutter that is making us forget things. There's so many things we need to remember these days. And I don't know about you, friends, but I need to write things down on my notepad on my fridge, or in my diary, or even diarize time to do certain things. There's too much on the go that we are not operating at our optimal, and we're wearing ourselves out. So, I mean, how many of you are doing the kind of popping the vitamins, or the vitamin B12 shot, right, or the neurobian shots, because we are tired. We are trying to do too much, and we need to actually hit the pause button at times. And that is what mindfulness does teach us. So I love this picture, and I'm sorry for my kids, but they knew I was going to do this. What I'd love you to do now is an exercise. I'm sure a lot of you got your phone with you. I want you to take your phone and put it in selfie mode. Okay? Can you do that for me? If you don't have your phone, if you have a mirror nearby, just go and I want you to see your reflection, right? To have a look at yourself. You're looking, right? And please, no filters on. What do you see? I'm keen to hear. Can you put your comments into the chat? And if you're comfortable, but I encourage you to do so. So I'm looking at myself in this selfie mode, and I'm seeing someone who has very tired eyes. Never had these bags under my eyes, and my daughter said to me, "Mom, I think your age is catching up with you. You need to get one of those anti-aging creams." And I love my children because they're just so honest. But this happens to us. And by looking at yourself in the mirror, are you happy with who you see? When last did you really look at yourself? Really, really look at yourself. Not to see whether, oh, do I need to wax my eyebrows or, do I need to trim my beard? But really look at yourself. And I hope that, Mark, people are putting comments in the chat and
they are
open.
You want me to read? I mean, I can go through them.
Yes, please.
So Michelle Kai is saying a tired face. I said a guy I actually like. Angela's got a tired face. Peter Cameron says, I see someone who's tired, but someone I'm proud of. That's beautiful, Peter. Katie, sad and tired. Sorry, Katie. We're going to have to change that one. Williamson, I see a smiling face. Lucalian, someone I'm proud of and inspired by. Also the son of a rock star.
Oh,
I
love it.
Irene is, I see a resilient girl.
Oh, you go, Irene. And I must say, Irene's from Uganda, Mark, one of my favorite places.
Oh, wow.
On the continent.
Welcome.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank
Juliana said tired and aging. Yep.
Yeah, you can see a lot of people who are very tired. We're all feeling it. And we're saying, we talk about it in corporate as well, when we talk about wellness, is that we COVID fatigued. We social beings, friends. We want to be out there doing our thing. And just to, even engage friends and family. I mean, we had beautiful people over this past weekend, this past Saturday, and I know one of them is on the call. And just to connect with people, it was amazing. Absolutely lovely, right? So I would encourage you just to take note of what you are seeing and what you want to change. I know sometimes circumstances are making us sad and tired, Katie, and I know you've been through a lot. And I wish I could say this too shall pass, because people do say that, but it takes a lot of effort and it's hard.
I've got a few more.
We are dealing with loss.
Silvana said mischievous glint. Irene. Irene saying, I love you so much, Dee. So much love. Masejo says survivor. Beverly's saying, I see a tired face, but super proud of you, my friend Dee. Melanie is saying, I see a tired, overwhelmed me.
Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for sharing. So, and I must keep an eye on the time because, Mark, I can go on because I'm very passionate about this. So my journey, and typical HR fashion, right? I had to put a roadmap because I was trying to think, how do I get all of this stuff out of my head? And so I'm going to share with you, when I first went on my journey, and this was, I think, 2018, around then, Mark, I was losing the plot big time, friends. And this quote as well, it's quite tiny, but it says, never be a prisoner of your past. It was a lesson, not a life sentence. And we hold on to it and be very hard on ourselves. So why was I losing the plot? I was in a highly pressurized job, which I think most of us are. I don't think there's any job that's super easy. I think, Mark, as much as I love what you do, I know it can be stressful, right? Being on every single day doing phenomenal work. And I think you were born to do this kind of work and really touch lives. But I had 2 break-ins in a space of 6 months. And after the second break-in, I had to pack up the kids, the 2 dogs and the cat, and we moved in with my brother, who was an absolute godsend. And I didn't know what to do because I was lost. I mean, my home has always been my sanctuary. It was invaded. Luckily, we weren't harmed, but it was the trauma from that. And I felt that I didn't protect my children. but how could I have, right? And being a single mom, just the three of us, what was I supposed to do? And we were lucky. And that's when I was talking about counting our blessings. My mom always taught me this. And she said, no matter what, you count your blessings. And that's so true, because we have a lot going for us and a lot of the positives. And I must be honest, I'm not a firm believer of we have to be positive every single minute of every day. That's exhausting, and it's not even possible. And Kiasha always talks about toxic positivity, right? And I try and avoid that whole vibe. But the idea around mindfulness and the journey that I've embarked on in terms of really trying to focus on what is important and to stop when I need to stop rather than go, go, go like a hamster on a wheel, is that we build up the resilience to then face adversity. And that is the trick. And Mark, I don't think I'm allowed to swear on this call, but there is a book by Mark Manson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F, right? I know that was one of the warnings, no swearing, okay. And he was talking about it's impossible to be positive all the time. And I know we've got the happiest man in the world who is a Buddhist, he's a monk, right? And his brainwaves show that he's the happiest man, but in reality, it's about having your tools to build your resilience, to focus on what matters, and to stop yourself when you're feeling that you're getting out of control. And interestingly, you know, I've been fighting an autoimmune for the past 7 or 8 years. So I've been on chronic meds and, you know, hair falling and chemical taste in my mouth constantly, but I'm alive, right? My doctor said to me, there's only 2 things that I can do for you, is give you a pain-free life and avoid deformity, which for me is perfect. You know, if I can live without pain and still be happy, I'm perfect with that. But it is about showing up every single day. And all of this was happening, you know, so I was losing the plot and I'm like, oh, but I don't have time for the breakdown that I need. So what do? And by some chance, I had this gorgeous young man, Adrian Jacobs from Mindful Revolution, who then sent me a note on LinkedIn saying, I'm inviting you to this breakfast. And I said to Lukaelen, let's go. It's free. That's the best part. And it's a beautiful venue. So we went for this breakfast, and Mark, I hadn't met you at that point, but we had the team there talking about their journey. And then I reached out to Adrian and I said, Adrian, I want to sign up, you know, what's the cost? Tell me, I want to know more. He says, just Mark will hook you up. And that is when my 13-week journey began. And to that end, I had actually met my second husband during this journey. I was madly in love. I was finding myself. And meeting Kuben, it was unleashing something in me, this inner child. You know, I felt like a teenager again. I was doing my daily affirmations. I hired a personal trainer. I went plant-based. So really focusing on myself, lost 10 kilos. It was the best time, right? And I was really feeling awesome. I was up at 3 in the morning. That is when I wrote the program, We Are She. And by the way, friends, the We Are She was Mark Joseph's title. I have to give him credit for that. I was calling it the Warrior Program. Adrian said, I don't like it so much. Mark's like, why not call it We Are She? And that is how that evolved. Part of this, and I learned this again from Mark, was he always said, the moment you start to look at how you reinvest your energy, those toxic people in your life disappear. They literally go poof. And I promise you, true to his word, as I was focusing on my mindfulness journey, focusing on myself, my body, it was the whole mind, body, soul experience. I started to attract people that were good for me. And those people that were not good, that were toxic, that were bringing me down, were wearing me out, I don't know what happened to them. I can't say I put a hit on them. They literally, I think it's because I wasn't investing time and effort that they exited my life, okay? So this whole point around your vibe attracts your tribe is so true. And it's true to the people that have now embraced me in my life. All of you on this call, I am truly blessed. And then letting go. It was about letting go of things and let go of how things should have been. So some of you may not know this on the call. Some of you may. I've now been recently separated, I can't say, 4 months from Kuben. We were married for 5 months. In fact, Mark married us at our new home. But there was something that was not right in our marriage, and I had to make a decision. You know, my children have always been my priority, and integrated families are challenging. But at the same time, I realized that he came into my life for a reason, which was taking me on a path of spirituality. And I'm grateful to him for that. But that's where the journey ends. And it's time for me to move on to where I need to be. And that's what we need to find out from a lot of this kind of self-reflection, the introspection is, yes, when we have a breakup, we feel like our heart is being ripped apart, right? And that is how I felt. But I had to look at what was the lesson in this? What is the purpose that's coming out of this? And also with my first marriage, I've got 2 beautiful children who keep me grounded, who keep me honest. And that has been the best thing that's come out of it. And for me, it is about sharing these stories and helping individuals. And I can assure you, the moment you start opening up and showing your vulnerability, and that's one thing that we are terrified of, especially in a corporate environment. But I can't be myself. I can't show that I'm vulnerable, or if I cry, that's a sign of weakness. That is definitely not a sign of weakness. It takes a lot of bravery to show that side of you. And to be quite honest, I think at my age, 44 now, I'm tired of having to be a certain person at home, work context. It's not who I am. Then I'm not being authentic. So the Devaksha that you would see in the Midrand offices in African Bank is the Devaksha at home. Okay, I'm a lot crazier at home. And I hope you get to see that side of me at some point. But it is, to be honest, and no hidden agendas. So this journey has been one where there's been lots of lessons, there's been lots of heartache, letting go of things. Last year was a tough year. I think the last time we had such a tough year was when my dad passed away. But last year, Kiasha was in matric. She had a hard year. It was very challenging for us, and it took its toll on us as a family. And I look at this young woman now who is studying. She's got a modeling contract. She's got her stuff together. I look at Michaela, who's always been my anchor, and I said to him, "Well, it's my turn to be your anchor now. So you go forth and you be awesome." And yeah, so this has been my journey. My 2022 goal has been around self-care. And I think that's so important. I had gone on a vision board workshop recently because I'm all about affirmations and manifestations, and we do practice in a bit around that. And what I realized, and I had a spiritual healer in the workshop who said, when you go through a divorce, when you go through a loss, you focus on your children, or you focus on the people that need your attention. But do you focus on you, and do you heal yourself? And I realized that I hadn't done that the first time because I wanted to heal my children, but I hadn't healed my heart. And that is so important. So self-care is not just about those spa days, although they're quite lovely. I've got a wellness center I love going to every other week, especially on a Saturday. And it's not just about that or the bubble baths. Yes, we need to do all of that, but it's about setting boundaries, colleagues and friends. We need to try and manage our time. That work-life harmonization is so important. The focus on yourself, because there's only so much that we can offer, right? And then we burn out, and then it's the vitamin B shots all over again. It is about saying no. It's about saying no to toxic relationships, saying no to things. And if things are not making sense and you feel like, geez, we're not doing this in a smart way, let's challenge it rather than working ourselves to an absolute stupor. And I remember even when we were driving to the office and coming back, I always had a ritual. The moment I'd get into my garage, I'd switch my car off and I'd just do my breathing. And I'd let go of everything from the day. And I'd say, because now's my time for my children. It's not fair that I take all of my work stuff and load it onto them. It's not fair on them. Then I'm robbing them. And we also have a rule. And Kiasha will say to me, Mom, I need to talk to you about something. Would you please put your phone down? Because she knows that I'm not going to pay attention. It's these little rituals, friends, that are so important, that we need to start taking care of ourselves. We need to focus on that mind, body, soul. How many of you have been, working out, drinking enough water, eating healthy? Listen, I got into the knickknacks earlier, so I'm not a saint. We have those days, but we need to find some level of balance in what is important to us. And yes, we are parents, we are siblings, we friends, we colleagues, we have many roles, and we need to go back to what is our purpose. We have one life. My kids always say to me, Mom, we're going to, once we study, find our way. So you need to start taking care of yourself. And I encourage each and every one of you, and I know there's a mixed group, you've got little ones, but also, I keep bugging my sister. I'm like, you need to do date nights. It's very important. So that in a nutshell has really been my journey. There's just so many nuggets under each of these bubbles that I could go on, spending time talking about it. But if you allow me, I'd really like us to go into practice and then, speak a little bit about mind infusion. I don't want to exhaust you around that. I think a lot of you follow me on Facebook and Instagram in any event. But this whole manifesting the best version of yourself, yeah, it's difficult. It really is. And I personally have had days where I love crying in the shower because, it's just washing everything away. And then, I come out and then there are the puffy eyes, but it's okay. It's a beautiful release because I'm just getting rid of a lot of that. Part of the program, I've encouraged a lot of the individuals I've coached around writing a letter, forgiving the person who's hurt you, forgiving yourself. And we don't do that often enough. And I must say, I had an individual who wrote that letter. She typed it up and she said to me, Dee, I sent it to my ex-husband. I'm like, oh my word, but you didn't have to do that. I did, and I didn't expect a response, but I needed to do that for me because of the hurt. There's the ritual where Mark knows this, you write your letter and you burn it, and then you can put it in your garden. I know Joyce loves growing roses. You can plant a rose, you can plant sunflowers, whatever you want to do, that something beautiful comes out of this hurt and pain. And there's a lot of hurt and pain, friends. And let's not ignore it. Let's not pretend to be brave all the time. I saw something on LinkedIn recently around, and there was a lot of debate. Should we have a mental health day? And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? That is what we have sick leave for. And there's not enough focus. There's such a stigma around it. I'm seeing youngsters struggling with a lot of anxiety and even being able to relate to their emotions and feelings. And I'll talk a little bit about that when we look at Happy Little Minds. So Mark, are you comfortable that I lead us into this practice around manifesting the best version of yourself?
Devaksha, I know that this is your passion. It's my passion too, because not only do we use mindfulness for peace and stress reduction, but we use it to create the best version and vision of ourselves. So please go ahead.
Wonderful. Thanks, Mark. So this specific, and I was going to use one of Mark's, but listen, it's very difficult to follow his act. So I chose to do something that I picked up, and I've done a bit of a derived version of it on the Insight Timer, which is a beautiful app. I would encourage you to download if you have not. There's a lot of wonderful meditations, practices. There's even, I've seen recently, dealing with narcissists, and we come across them so often. And there's a beautiful lady there, Ramona, who talks us through dealing with narcissism. Okay. So Mark Roy, who actually put this together around manifest your unlimited potential, and I believe we all have unlimited potential. It's really, he based this practice on the work of by a psychologist by the name of Abraham Maslow, for all of you psych students or psychologists out there. So what I'd like you to do again is invite you just to be comfortable. So, just if you want to lie down, I know when my sister used to do this on the Wea she would fall asleep, and I would phone her afterwards. She's like, oh my word, I did fall asleep. But that's what happens when you've got the little ones running around and keeping you busy. So be comfortable. And as I mentioned earlier on, you can either have your palms facing up where you feel lifted, or down to feel grounded, okay? And close your eyes, or you can keep it slightly open as long as you're going to focus on a specific point. And what I'd like you to do is just to start with your breathing. So with the in-breath, I'm going to count to 4, and then with the exhale, it's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. So we breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I want you to continue breathing until you are comfortable with the pace, okay? Just focus on your breathing. So inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And you can even sigh, you can let out whatever you want. And as you are breathing in, I'd like you to just say this in your mind. All that I need to be great is either with me or well on its way. All that I need to be great is either with me or well on its way. And keep saying that to yourself as you're breathing in. Now I want you to say, I am courageous. I am awesome. I am courageous. I am awesome. I am not afraid to fail. I will embrace my challenges. I am not afraid to fail. I will embrace my challenges. So continue with the breath work. And I'd like you to picture, what does it look like? Visualize this best version of yourself. Who is this individual? What are some of the traits? Is there a smile on your face? Is there a glow? Picture this. Picture yourself waking up in the morning. What are you doing? Are you getting ready to go into the office? Are you getting ready to do your own hustle? Whatever it may be, how do you look? Remember the earlier exercise when we looked at ourselves in selfie mode? What does that selfie look like? How are you seeing yourself in the mirror? What does the best version of yourself look like? Are you tired? Are you exhausted? Or are you thriving, happy, ready to go? I'm going to keep quiet for a few minutes while you continue to focus on your breathing, visualizing this picture of yourself as though you've got a blank canvas and you're painting this beautiful image of your life. So just imagine it. Keep your eyes closed and just continue breathing and visualize this. Okay, so I hope you've seen a beautiful picture. Now I'd like you to just breathe in everything that you need to make this a reality. Just imagine that the air is filled with everything that you need. Okay, be it courage, peace, resilience, love, happiness, joy, whatever it may be, you're breathing it all in. So a nice deep breath in. And exhale anything that's holding you back. Fear, anger, resentment, any of those characteristics, breathe it out. Another deep breath in. And exhale anything that's not serving you. And one last deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and join us again. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. Hope you're feeling relaxed. So, very quick overview of We Are She, and then I'd like to hear from you, any feedback, questions, either for Mark or myself. The overview of the We Are She program and the coaching program, so I run a lot of the one-on-ones. It's a 6-week program focusing on my context, taking us back to our childhood, our earliest memories. Also, a lot of focus around who am I? Who is Devaksha? Who is Mark? Who's Taryn? Okay. And then becoming unstuck, because that's something that's quite big, right? Why do we get stuck? We struggle to get out of it, and you'll see it's like being in quicksand and we don't know what to do, just feel exhausted. What do I need to do? And I love it, you know, with kids these days, it's just, they're so honest and they know. It's like you ask them a question, what do you need to do? And they know what they need to do. They just do it, right? Letting go. This is the hardest part, because when you let go, you sometimes let go of part of you. And that part of you maybe needs to go to bring in something new. But that is so difficult, friends. We all know that, right? Whether it is through loss, whether it's through a breakup in a relationship, a divorce, whatever it may be, you still go through the whole grieving process. And that's because you had a picture of what something should look like and it didn't materialize. And then my rebirth is the final week around what are some of the things that you need to put in place to keep this sustainable. And I've heard it from many people. Oh, but I went on this resilience training. I went on a mindfulness course, but it didn't work. Why didn't it work? It takes practice. It's about developing the habits. And that is what I did with Mark, Joseph, and the team, is it becomes a way of life. And I don't know if all of my colleagues are on the call, but I know the one colleague of mine said, she's always so chirpy and bubbly on calls. And yet, you know, there's all of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. How do you do it? It is a lot of efforts, I can assure you. And even when I was going through a lot, my sister says, I don't know how you had your camera on and you still ran your programs, but we do it. We do it to keep going because yes, it is about survival. I've been in autopilot mode, but it's when you're passionate about something, it's very easy to wake up in the morning, right? It's not a challenge. And then something that my beautiful little niece, Ariana, had said to me, but Auntie B, you're doing all of these Zoom calls with mom and with the ladies. When are you doing one for the kids? And with Ariana, we came up with Happy Little Minds, and it was a 4-week program. Listen, with the little ones, you can only get away with 30 minutes. It was also on Zoom, and it was unbelievable. I promise you, I was saying to my friend Ravani earlier, it's like, I love being with children. I think I get along with kids more than I do with adults in most instances because they just make me feel so alive. And Ariana actually co-facilitated with me. She's turning 10 this year. And she was teaching the little kiddies how to breathe and relax and talking about our emotions. And it's amazing. You know, I'd ask kids, well, what makes you happy? And I'd have the one child saying my PlayStation, and the other would be my friends. And you'd have Ariana saying my relationship with God. And I'm like, oh my word, geez, my sister and brother-in-law have done a fantastic job there. But it doesn't mean that the other answers are irrelevant, but you can see how mindfulness is playing such a big role in our children's lives. My daughter, Kiasha, has been she's been creating content around various disorders, eating disorders, around focusing on your body, about suicide, and, you know, sharing her personal journey in many of these instances, which has been such an eye-opener. And Lukaelen as well has been supporting in terms of guidelines for parents, because I think for most of Kiasha's life, he's played that parent role as well when I traveled quite a bit in some of my jobs. But this is the other program for the little ones. And I think my last kind of parting note is, friends, show up, and more importantly, be seen. And Brene Brown, for many of you know of, I think daring greatly means the courage to be vulnerable. It means to show up and be seen, to ask for what you need, to talk about how you're feeling, to have the hard conversations. And don't be shy to ask for what you need. Put it out there. It's those affirmations. My sister taught me this as well. She says, even when you pray, be very specific about what you want. Don't be shy about it. Ask for it, and it shall be shown. So that is me. Thank you, everybody. I so appreciate the time and the love. Really grateful.
Thanks, Devaksha. You know, I love you. I love you lots. And I'm so happy that you are in my life and that I met you. You are a warrior woman and you've been through the most incredible trials, but yet you still rise above and you model and you live and breathe resilience. And that's what I really am inspired by you. I definitely want to take you up on a curry invite because it sounds like you do it justice, one pot at a time. It's got to taste good. So how do we find more information on Mind Fusion, Devaksha? Do you want to send us to an email address or somewhere where we can find out more about it?
And I think, so I think a lot of the people, yes, I can include it. We're on Facebook under Mind Infusion, or my mobile number, Mark. I'm happy to put that in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Anyone wants to reach out. I'm not going to put Kiasha's for now, unless Kiasha wants me to, or she can put hers. You can also contact Kiasha if you want to know more.
Brilliant, because it sounds like you're doing such a wonderful project, and I'm so proud, you know, taking your learnings and creating your own programs. That's what the mindfulness teacher training is all about. And you're a working lady, you're a corporate lady, but yet you still find time to explore, you know, helping others and explore your passion even more. And may you continue. And thank you for your vulnerability and sharing some of the tough challenges that you've been through in the past year, in the past 2 years. It takes a brave person to do that. And I guess in the work of mental wellness, we are encouraging more vulnerability with everybody. You also have the most divine children. And it's amazing how you and Lukalan and Kiasha are all working together. It's like you got your projects and you're collaborating. And I mean, it's just really, I feel that you are leading that charge as a family, which is really fantastic. You've always been a great supporter of Mindful Revolution, and we really appreciate you. And, you know, this whole theme of making your visions and your dreams come true. I mean, I'm off to the United States tomorrow for a 2-week magical experience, and it's part of my manifestation that has come true. So I am 100% on your page, and I did it through mindfulness. And it's actually forms part of the teacher training. It's in class 7, and it's not woo-woo. It's quite a neurological, scientific-based manifestation technique. Anyway, listen, if anyone has any questions or comments for Devaksha, unmute your mic, put your camera on if you dare. Now's the chance to say hi. You might have a question or a comment. I've got Naomi, put her hand up. Naomi, would you like to come on?
Oh, yes, Mark. Thank you so much. Sharing your experience with us. I would say it's to have such a resilient mind, resilient soul and spirit as well. And my key point I cannot just summarize everything, but I just need to congratulate you for having a Little Mind program for kids. You know, we always think of ourselves as adults, but we forget they also have stress. They're also struggling with the 70% and anxiety, stress, and probably they're also living under survival mode. So thank you for thinking of them. I think that way we can just build a good generation time to come. They can also just be mindful as well, just like us. So I think for me, that would be a comment and say thank you for thinking of them as well.
Thanks, Naomi. Mark, Naomi's from beautiful Tanzania.
Oh, wow. Welcome, Naomi. And yes, about the children. I mean, Devaksha, your slide that 1 out of 15 children will attempt suicide. That is incredibly sobering. I mean, I never realized it was that high. Thank you, Naomi. That's beautiful. I love your accent, and thank you for joining us. Peter's got his hand up. Peter, can I welcome you on? Have you got a question or a comment?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Mark. Hi, Devaksha. I would normally come on with I don't know, some clever question I've thought of, but this wasn't that at all. This was a genuinely authentic presence, Devaksha, and thank you so much for creating this space. I've been smiling at my laptop for the past 45 minutes. Really, really incredible. It was inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
That's awesome, Peter. You gave me goosies and some tears in my eyes for your genuineness yourself and your comment. Thank you for your appreciation for Devaksha and for being on this platform. It's lovely to see you. Irene, you've got your hand up. Can I invite you on?
Thank you, Mark, and I'm happy to be here. Very excited, Dee. Thank you again for reminding us of who we are and encouraging us to be authentic. Ever since I attended the program, I've been blessed. I miss it. I miss the sessions every day. And for me, I couldn't miss this one for anything in the world. My world had to stop to be here. So you have encouraged me again. You inspire me every day, and I love you. Thank you so much, Dee, and I wish you all the best.
Love you, Irene. Thank you.
I mean, Devaksha, I think everybody in the whole world loves you. I don't think there's one person that doesn't. You are so amazing.
Be surprised.
Friends, any questions or comments for Devaksha before, anybody else that would like to jump on? Wonderful turnout. Wonderful turnout. Lovely. I mean, we had about 30 people on the call. I think that there are no more comments or questions. Let's just see. Resh is saying, so proud of you. You're an inspiration. Love you lots. Neshi saying, Devaksha Christopher, awesome session. Professional, eloquent, strong woman, sending love and hugs. This was so awesome. Kiasha is putting her number in the chat for any questions, any further questions on Mind Infusion. Taryn's got her hand up. Taryn, can I invite you on?
Yes. Hi, Mark. Thank you for the session. And Devaksha, thank you so much for just being so vulnerable, just being so open. I am based in the UK, and I actually got the invite through Facebook on Michelle Kai's Facebook page. So I'm so glad I got the opportunity to join. I head up wellbeing for my organization, so we'll definitely want to get in touch with you just to see how we could probably work together to help move things forward a little bit. So yeah, really enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Taryn. Absolutely, that's beautiful. Looking forward to it.
That's wonderful, Taryn. Beautiful. I mean, there's a mindful champions are making inroads and just showing up at Devaksha, just your program. You so organized. What I loved so much is your journey, the way that you put that, with the road and those little points was really just so beautifully done. So thank you for doing that. Thank you, Taryn. Lovely to hear your voice and be involved and coming through. Michelle, that's really cool. Any other questions or comments? It's amazing these people that have given up their Netflix to be here. I mean, that's really something.
I know, Mark. How's that, hey? And thanks for all the beautiful comments, everyone. I'm seeing names pop up from family I haven't seen in years, from primary school friends. It's just unbelievable, Mark.
Wonderful.
Truly unbelievable.
And we plan on having, when I'm back from the States in 2 weeks, we're going to have more guest speakers, obviously people that have done the mindfulness teacher training. We've got 3 groups starting in May. So if you want to reach out to me, if you want to contact us, it's Mark at mindfulrevolution.io. We are changing the world as a mindfulness organization. And the teacher training for you, as you can see, Devaksha's added it on as a plugin, and it's taken over her life in her coaching and her training, which is what has to happen, what does happen once you finish the teacher training. It's just, you can't look back. You've got to go forward. Neshi, the recording will be on YouTube. I will post it on Facebook. Devaksha, I will tag you. So whoever missed the session will be able to watch this on YouTube via Facebook. Okay?
Wonderful. Thanks for the opportunity again, Mark. And thank you, everybody.
Yeah, fantastic. What a wonderful evening. Appreciate your time, Devaksha. Appreciate your family's time, your friends, your colleagues, and also people that don't know us. Welcome. You've come via LinkedIn, you've come via social media. This is the beginning. We had Michelle Kai on a few weeks ago. And as this grows, I'm sure we're going to look and there'll be 100, 200, 300, this is just the beginning. So watch this space. And we are very excited to invite Devaksha back in the next couple of weeks or months to continue sharing some precious gems of wisdom and some practices. Nothing like it. Thank you so much, Devaksha.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Wonderful. Wonderful, folks. Lots of love to you. Thank you. Any other comments? You're welcome to stay on. If you're feeling a little shy, you can stay on and wait until everyone's gone before you ask some more questions. But really appreciate you all joining. Thank you for being here. It's very special. To spread mindfulness is like a light in this world. It's beyond borders, beyond religions, beyond philosophies. We breathe together, we live together, taking those little moments to be connected and to be present. Devaksha had a very powerful message. There we go. Lovely, Devaksha. Thank you so much, everyone. I've got to go pack my bags for my trip. I haven't even looked at that yet.
What time are you flying out?
Tomorrow evening. So sort of getting to the airport early evening and yeah. It's a long way.
Amazing, Mark.
Way.
Hey?
Yeah. It's a dream come true, but it's all about that manifestation, what you were talking about.
Yeah, well done. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.